Hey, what's up, guys? It's Corey here with Dapper Dollars, and today we're going to talk about Vuzix Stock, whether or not it's a buy, or if you should sell it, or if it's even going to be a good investment at all, period. So, you ready? Let's get into it. Now, this channel is all about using the Merch by Amazon opportunity to create income for yourself so that you can invest in stocks like this or others in the future that we'll talk about. But anyway, it's about investing your Merch by Amazon income so that it doesn't just come in one hand and then leave, but you're able to hold on to it and grow it and increase the money that you do get from the Merch by Amazon opportunity. So if that sounds like something you would be interested in or you want to do, like and subscribe, and don't miss a video because we talk about this at least 3 times a week, whether it's Merch by Amazon tactics and strategies or how to invest and what I'm doing personally for investing. First of all, let's get it out of the way. I am not a financial advisor. Consult your financial experts in your life before you make a financial decision. This is just my opinion on this stock. So, with all that said, Vuzix Stock. This one is interesting. It's in a space that is kind of tangential to Apple. So, puts it in a very unique opportunity. But what is Vuzix? Well, they are a augmented reality glasses company. And what they do is mostly provide a service to business consumers. So, Vuzix is a business selling to businesses alike, the hospitals or grocery stores or things like that. What the glasses are ways to have a image projected on the glasses that you're wearing. So what you're wearing is basically a heads-up display. If you've seen these in BMW or other car companies, sometimes whenever you're driving on the dash, it'll project your speed or whatever the information is that the car wants you to see onto the windshield in front of you so that you can see it. In the same way, Vuzix does this with glasses. So there is something in the glasses that projects information or an image onto your glasses so that you're able to see it. People use this for video communication, for calls to, see if they're doing anything right or wrong. And recently, Vuzix has used this for surgery. So doctors in America are talking with doctors in Africa, and they're able to walk through surgeries together, which is really providing an extreme benefit to doctors who don't have the experience or the professionals that we have here in America. It's able to give those doctors in Africa a way to do those procedures without having to fly Americans over or other professionals over to do that surgery. They can then both just be wearing the Vuzix glasses, see what each other is seeing, walk through what they're supposed to be doing, and successfully complete a surgery. Now, in other business areas, there is, people who order stuff from the grocery store. Vuzix is able to, someone who's in the grocery store wearing those glasses, it would tell them where in the grocery store that item is. And then, so whenever they come to the item in the store, it would light up on the shelf, or at least you would see it lit up in your glasses. And it allows for faster production, increases production, and is able to speed things along so that you're not just wasting time walking up and down a shelf and taking the risk of just overlooking something because now you can't because it's going to be lit up on your screen or in your glasses. So that's a summation of what Vuzix is and what spaces they're in. They're also in the military space. Sorry, I forgot to mention that. They're in the military space, and this is great for pilots. This is great for engineers in the military space and people who are in basic communications in the field. So they're able to have these Vuzix glasses on and have someone reading them out the mission as they're going, or give them real-time updates as far as what's happening in the field that the soldiers might not be seeing. So Vuzix is in a wide array and has a really broad area that they're looking at as far as what they can do in the future. So, total addressable market. This is one of the biggest factors for me because, you think of augmented reality glasses and stuff like that, you think, is this really going to be, in a business-to-business setting, a big enough draw? Because you think, if you've been keeping up with technology at all, you know that Apple is coming out with something called Apple Glass, which is the same thing as Vuzix, but is going to be sleeker, is going to look better, and is going to be a bit more practical for personal use. So, what does this mean for Vuzix? Is that a suggestion that Vuzix is going to just go out of business and Apple is going to eventually take them over and Vuzix is going to be kicked out of the limelight? Probably not. Vuzix is in a very different sector. Vuzix is, like we said, business to business. Apple is business to consumer. So Apple is selling to consumers who are using this to probably check text messages, take calls, do Zoom calls and stuff like that, whereas Vuzix is selling to a business that is going to use this not just for text messages and calls, but for very specific information and things like that. So they are in very different sectors. Yes, there is some overlap, but for the quality and for the purpose of what the Vuzix classes does and what they're able to do for the specific businesses they serve, they're in a much better situation than Apple. Apple is, like we said, business to consumers, so they're going to be focusing more on providing a way for people to text to each other and call each other and things like that. Vuzix is not in any way going to be competing with Apple in this avenue. So that total addressable market is wide open for them. So think of Vuzix more as a business-to-business opportunity in the future. And so the balance sheet of Vuzix, this is really important because Vuzix is not a spec company, but they're up and coming. They've been around for a while, but augmented reality is just now starting to catch on. It's been a thing in the back of people's minds for a while. Nobody really knew what this was going to do, if it was going to do anything or even be a possibility or a thing people would be interested in, but it's starting to come around. So the balance sheet of Vuzix is not very cash heavy, but it is cash heavy compared to other companies that are newer companies that have not been around for a while. They don't have hardly any debt. What they do have, they're paying down as far as what their dependencies are or liabilities. Their assets are growing, and they have cash on hand to pay off all of their current liabilities and be completely debt-free and probably function for a while. So this is a great position for Vuzix to be in as far as a cash standpoint. Now for the revenues, Vuzix is serving the military mostly. So the revenue is very much dependent on who is able to purchase. And if you look at the presidencies, this is a huge influence on whether or not Vuzix is going to be able to get off the ground, because Obama, Biden, and from was it 2012 to 2016, that was a huge time of them cutting spending in the military. So the military wasn't doing anything as far as new information, new technologies, or anything like that. They just cut spending. Trump has come in and increased spending in research and production and new technologies for the military. So Vuzix has really benefited from that. And that is, of course, a huge driver of revenue for Vuzix. There is the medical space, but honestly, people aren't putting that much money into it the same way that the military is putting money into Vuzix. And if you've been following Vuzix, you know that they are now in phase 2 of their military operation for the, I think it's the Blade, the Vuzix Blade, for their product like that. So if Biden gets elected, I don't know if Vuzix is going to be a great opportunity. If Trump is reelected, it's a great thing for Vuzix. It's going to be a good thing for Vuzix regardless, but if Biden is elected, it's going to be a much slower growth, whereas if Trump is reelected, it's going to be an exponential growth. So I'm likely going to be holding on to my cash to wait on this decision to see what happens in the future, but that is where I'm at with Vuzix right now. Also, one other issue that I would like to talk about is the CEO. I don't know much about this CEO. He's a bit of a wild card in my opinion. Not to say that he himself is a wild card, but he hasn't been in a situation where he's taken a private technology into the public space and then produced it into a multi-million or billion-dollar company. He has had experience in the information and technology space, and he's created companies in those areas, but I just don't see the track record that would make him the best candidate for leading this company. He's done a great job, he's brought it to this point, and it has the potential to go somewhere, but the CEO is a big factor in my opinion for most companies that I'm looking at for spec plays for sure. So that's something to bear in mind. And I think we have established that augmented reality is going to be a thing. Augmented reality is definitely here to stay because Apple is developing Apple Glass, which is their augmented reality glasses. And again, that's a commercial product, but it's a consumer product, not a business product. So Apple is proving that augmented reality is probably going to be the next thing as far as wearable tech goes. You know, everybody was concerned if the Apple Watch was going to be a thing because that was the first real iteration of wearable tech. But now that the Apple Watch has been so successful, glasses are likely going to be next. And who knows where it's going to go from here is a little scary, but you know, we're just along for the ride and these tech giants are going to take us on it. So, anyway, that's my opinion on Vuzix. If you would like to look into them, again, check with your professional financial advisor and a licensed financial advisor who can actually give you these suggestions. Don't make any moves without talking to those people. And remember, guys, something is going to do something amazing every day. Why not you? See ya.